Marvel Studios is reportedly going to recast Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow. But pay attention to what I'm about to say next because it is very important that you know the difference in what is being reported on right now. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Scarlett Johansson are reportedly still coming back to the MCU as Iron Man, as Captain America, and as Black Widow, but as variants of their old characters, meaning they are not going to be the exact same people from the 616 universe. So not the same Iron Man we know, not the same Captain America we know, or Black Widow. They could be similar in every single way, but still just be from a different universe. Kevin Feige has already said they're not going to revive these characters, and we'll talk about that in this video as well. But here's the difference in what I'm talking about. These three actors are going to return to their original roles in Avengers Secret Wars just as variants, and then after Avengers Secret Wars, after these legendary actors have returned to their legendary characters making cameos in the film, Marvel Studios is reportedly going to recast these characters in a soft reboot for the new MCU post Avengers Secret Wars, and according to this report, it's going to be for a very specific reason. Now, right away, go ahead and let me know how you feel about that. Some could consider this the best of both worlds. We get Robert Downey Jr. returning as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, and Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, returning temporarily for cameos in one movie, but then we get the characters back permanently in the MCU post Secret Wars, but they would be played by different actors. So the old legends returned, but the characters continue on in the MCU. And let's be honest, we knew that Marvel Studios wasn't going to forever write off Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow. We knew these characters were going to return and be recast eventually. And according to this report, if you hear what Marvel Studios reportedly has planned, maybe you'll really like what's about to happen with the MCU's soft reboot. So let's dive into it. But of course, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest MCU news. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5, an Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner picks one item. We pick one winner at the end of every single month. So lots of opportunities to win. So first things first, Variety did an article on Robert Downey Jr. And in this article, they have a quote from Kevin Feige talking about the resurrection of specifically Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man from the 616 universe, our main MCU universe, the sacred timeline, whatever you want to call it, what we've been watching for over a decade now. And what he basically confirms is that Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, they're not just going to bring him back to life. And Marvel in the comics is known to do this. Characters return all the time as the same exact character. Now, of course, sometimes they can return as different characters, but Kevin Feige is specifically talking about Robert Downey Jr.'s 616 Iron Man. And he says this in this interview. The paragraph in the Vanity Fair article reads, after 10 films, Downey's Iron Man made his exit in 2019's Avengers Endgame. Still a high water mark for the series. Marvel has a reputation for resurrecting characters who seemingly meet their ends, but Feige says that won't happen to Stark, and I quote, "We are going to keep that moment and not touch that moment again. We all worked very hard for many years to get to that, and we would never want to magically undo it in any way." End quote. So the 616 Tony Stark who died in Avengers Endgame truly died. They are not resurrecting him. They are not bringing him back. So all of the reports that we've heard recently about Robert Downey Jr. returning as Iron Man clearly seem to be about him returning to play a variant of himself, which of course is still going to be insanely cool. In fact, I think it's the best scenario. I think a lot of people would agree with what Kevin Feige said in this article, that we shouldn't resurrect Iron Man. We shouldn't take away his death and his sacrifice. The same thing goes for Logan. When we found out that Wolverine was going to be returning, Hugh Jackman was returning to play him, the first statement they kind of really made was that they're not going to undo what happened in Logan. The same thing goes for Professor X. Patrick Stewart made it very clear that he said goodbye to that character in Logan, and that was the character's death. However, when he returned in Multiverse of Madness to play Professor X again, that was a different variant. So they didn't undo what he did. The same thing goes with Wolverine. It's just going to be a variant. So it seems pretty clear that when Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Scarlett Johansson return, they'll be playing variants of their old characters. However, I really hope Chris Evans also plays the Human Torch again and the original Fantastic Four show up. But now, as far as recasting these iconic characters goes, we have a report from the insider My Time to Shine Hello that basically tells us that Secret Wars during it and after it will basically be a soft reboot, which we had already heard about, and they will use this to bring back Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow with new actors. Somebody asked the insider on Twitter, what's it looking like in regards to Secret Wars soft rebooting the MCU? Can we expect to see new actors playing Tony, Steve, and Natasha post Secret Wars, so we'll finally be getting those characters in the same universe as the X-Men, Fantastic Four, etc., in which she replied, yes to all of it, confirming three things: the soft reboot, the confirmation of new actors playing Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow, and the reason basically being so they can interact with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, who we know are going to play pretty prominent roles in the MCU moving forward post Secret Wars. So this is incredible news, and right now I know that the MCU has been in sort of a funk for a lot of people, but I still have very, very high hopes for the remaining projects in the Multiverse saga, and I actually think it's going to end very, very strong. And I think Deadpool 3 is really going to start to show us the true potential of the Multiverse saga. We got into it a little bit with Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home, but Deadpool is really going to take us there. So I think the end with the X-Men showing up, a lot of old original actors like Elektra, Jennifer Gardner showing up, basically all of the cameos that we've been hearing about, all of the actors returning to play these old iconic roles, and the multiverse truly starting to collapse. I truly believe Secret Wars is going to be a huge movie. And if Marvel Studios can pick up the pace and hype again with Deadpool 3 and their projects after, which I do believe they can do, then we could be looking at the possibility of Avengers Secret Wars being the biggest movie of all time, just like Avengers Endgame was, because on a scale, it's certainly bigger. So I'm really excited for that, but if that doesn't get you excited, it sounds like post Secret Wars, Phase 7, or maybe since it's a soft reboot, they go back to Phase 1, 1.1, whatever they decide to do, it sounds like it's going to be pretty much the universe that we have all wanted from the very beginning. A universe in which not only do the Avengers exist and the classic Avengers characters like Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America are there, but the X-Men exist in this universe. They exist alongside of them and interact with them, as well as the Fantastic Four as well. This is basically an MCU with nothing off limits. Every character can finally be used, and literally any interaction could happen in the MCU moving forward in this soft reboot. So if that doesn't get you excited about the future of Marvel, I'm not really sure what could. But I also want to say that I do like that it's still a plan to do a soft reboot after, because that means everything that our original heroes have done, really just any hero up to this point in the MCU and up to Secret Wars, is not going to be just erased out of existence like it never happened, but it'll still be there. I'm assuming we're probably going to end up in another universe after Secret Wars, not 616 anymore, but a lot of people from 616 will end up in this new universe as well, which is how we could get a new Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, etc., while still keeping the memories of what all of the original heroes have done. I think it's a brilliant idea, but go ahead and let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Do you like this? Do you not like it? Do you not want them to recast? Let us know everything down below. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on the MCU. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.